Welcome back to another edition of Blind Grilling. I'm your host, Chris Peltz, and apparently, I don't look blind. That's right, we're not firing up the grills today, but rather I wanted to take a few minutes to hopefully give a little bit of education about blindness. A friend of mine, Matt, who has a channel, Blind to Billionaire, did a video not too long ago with the hashtag I don't look blind. And I thought it was a great idea to kind of educate people, and it's something that I think needs to be talked about and needs to be addressed. And what's kind of funny is just before he uploaded that video, I was at a grilling store and having a conversation with the owner and one of the customers who had come in. And as three of us are standing around talking, the guy had a picture on his phone that he wanted to show to kind of go with the story he was telling. So he shows Nick, and then he kind of angles the phone towards me, and Nick says, "Hey, he can't see it. He's blind." And the guy looks at me and he says, "But you mean you can't see? Well, why are you looking at me then when you talk to me?" Of course, my response was, "Well, because I'm talking to you, and I always thought it was rude not to look at somebody when you talk to them." And which is true. That's when I was growing up. That's what I was taught. If you look at somebody when you talk to them, and look at them when they talk to you. So that was something that it comes rather naturally to me. When someone is speaking, I look that direction. But he was taken back, and it was kind of this idea. But you don't look blind. He didn't realize that I couldn't see, and it's something that really I get a lot. Not long ago, there was a comment on the video, a few videos back on our YouTube channel. As they were watching the video, they realized that I couldn't see, and so it wasn't something that was just boom apparent. Well, wow, look at him. As soon as he comes on the screen, it's obvious he can't see. Well, that wasn't the case at all, and so for the idea that you don't look blind. In many ways, it's a compliment because we don't want to have some type of stereotypical look that as soon as you look at it, it's just, oh, it's obvious. That person is blind or severely visually impaired or something like that. So it can be a kind of a compliment, but at the same time, oh, well, you don't look blind. It's kind of degrading in one sense as well. And so I would caution someone, and as far as saying that to someone who may be blind or visually impaired. But also, I wanted to kind of explain something to you as well. Blindness comes in various degrees. Generally we think of, or typically, someone who is totally blind, can't see anything. But there's visual impairments that come in various degrees. Someone who's legally blind, 2200, and as far as visual acuity is concerned, and then 2400, 26, 2800, and all the way down to just light perception, and then of course total blindness. And with those various degrees, there are certain things that someone may be able to see in various lights that perhaps in another light they couldn't see. When I was losing my sight, there were times when my eyes would take a long time to adjust. And so if I was inside somewhere, I might be able to see something that was right in front of me at the time. Whereas if I walked inside from outside, where it was really bright, and I walked into a dark house, even though there were lights on, it might take an hour or two for my eyes to adjust, and that same object could be right in front of me and I wouldn't see it. And so there's lots of different issues that are going on with someone who has a visual impairment. But also, I hold my phone and my phone reads to me. It has a voiceover, so it's speaking to me. And just out of habit, I look in the direction that I hear that voice coming from. So oftentimes I'll actually be looking at my phone, even though I can't see anything, and my phone has a black screen. So nothing's on the screen, but I'm actually looking at the phone as it talks to me. Again, it's become kind of a habit. And I think part of that goes back to having vision for so long in my life, knowing what things look like, looking in the direction when someone is talking to me or I'm talking to them. And so when I hear things, I look that direction. And so don't think that just because someone has a cane that they can't see anything. Maybe they have, zoomed or magnified what's on their screen. Whether it's an iPad, a computer, or an iPhone, or an Android phone, they've got it zoomed up, so they're able to see those things. Although, maybe not right ahead, sometimes people hold things to the side because they have peripheral, but nothing in the center. Whereas when I was losing my sight, it was the opposite. With retinitis pigmentosa, I lost my peripheral and I had tunnel vision and had to hold things really close in order to see it until finally, it was all gone. But there are various degrees. So I hope you'll give that some consideration and realize that maybe someone has a visual impairment, but they can see objects. Maybe you'll see someone at a grill who's grilling and they can see certain objects around the grill, so they can kind of grab things. Or like me, if you've seen my videos, I knock things over, but not always. Sometimes I know that things are set there, so I can put my hand on it, even though I can't see it at all, because we become familiar with our surroundings. So anyway, folks, I hope that has given you some things to think about. There is a hashtag, I don't look blind. And again, kind of inspired from the other YouTuber, Blind to Billionaire, Matt over there, who is helping bring attention to this, as well as a lot of other blind YouTubers who are bringing attention to this as well. So I thought I'd do my part and share with you guys, just that idea that we don't have to look like Stevie Wonder, moving our head back and forth, and there's no one look that someone has just because they're blind or visually impaired. So I hope this has given you something to think about. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. Be sure and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get further notifications when we do upload. We're going to be doing lots of other cooks and other videos as well. So we hope that you'll take the time to subscribe and follow us. Help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, because when we do, we've got a huge giveaway planned. And I would love for you guys to be a part of it. Thanks again for watching, and remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.